What's up, studs? Kunal here. Bulls on Wall Street, guys. Happy. Hopefully, you guys are having some happy hunting. We got a lot to unpack for this coming week because we're in the midst of quite a few things that are going down in the general market. And so we have coming tomorrow. We got core CPI, PPI over year over years, CPI year over year. And so we've got all of this kind of news here coming in the next few days that are going to be very important, minus this thing over here. And then Thursday, this jobless claims data is going to be really huge too. So it's going to be a busy week. I would be careful holding too much overnight risk. I don't believe that that's going to be probably in the cards, if you're really trying to, manage your accounts right now. These CPI numbers have been coming in under expectations now for months. With the election in coming in, the fix is probably in on that aspect of things. But this jobless claims data, you never know, that can move things. And you know what? CPI could even meet expectations, and you could still sell off in the markets, just judging by the locations that we're at. The market seems a little bit tired the last couple days. So always a couple things we want to look at when we are looking at the general market. So let's look at general markets, then we look at the individual stocks, right? So we want to come up with a game plan, the big picture, and then we narrow it down into the little picture. So we have ourselves, right, this big nasty kind of big capitulation drop. And now we've been grinding higher for a period of time here. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days minus this big red day where we've been just kind of grinding higher. And we're getting a little bit tired. We've come now into some resistance points. I think, this levels, these levels right here, like this kind of zone of love, is going to be a decent sized resistance. So we'll have to be careful tomorrow on what we do. Like if the market gaps up tomorrow on the CPI, I think that would be a really hard thing to chase. When you've already been grinding after such a drop, and you've already been just grinding for days and days, and you say the market gaps up like 2% tomorrow or 1.5% or something along that end, the day's probably going to be a dud unless you're playing for a quick fade somewhere. It ends up being one of those things where it's like the market is too strong to short, but it's too extended to long. And this is like the sweet spot. Like when you have these kind of capitulation washouts, you get into this weird spot where the first couple days is the easy money, right? And then the first pullback is like the good buy opportunity. And then you kind of keep grinding up, and it's like you're kind of breaking through this wall of worry, and you're just grinding out shorts because they're seeing the bear flag, but it's too tired to long. Like if today minus about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, where the AI stocks were going, there was no action, right? Maybe 30 minutes or give or take. There was very, very little action. We just kind of sat around. And so, but it was still, it was still too strong to short. So we're into that kind of weird spot here. And so during that time, unless there's some really juicy earnings setups or something like that, you want to kind of take it easy and just be mindful of where we're at, and that, right, you could probably get a pullback day. If we get a pullback day, that'll sucker in all the shorts. They'll start saying that, bear flag, and then that will probably be the buying spot, right? So it'd be nice to get like one big kind of red candle down, or even a retest down here. That might be asking for a lot because it's about 25 points away on the SPY. But that would be, I would be a lot more bullish on the market if we had a little bit of a CPI miss and we got down to maybe 435, 434, anything, right? Some just a big snappy, right? Big snappy pullback that just kind of shock and awe some people. I think that would be the play and allow these charts to reset. Now, one of the reasons that I'm, feeling a little bit mixed about tomorrow on the bullish side, beyond the market just grinding into resistance, is that when I was doing my scans, there were a lot of good short setups. And so I want to kind of be mindful of that too. So there are still, of course, some long setups. There are some amazing earnings plays here, like this Mondays that took off today, that I think can be in play for the next, coming days. You get a really nice breakout on this bad boy. It trades a little bit thin, only 3 million shares of volume, so you do got to be careful of this. but it's got a good overall look to it. The float's only 50 million. The range is friggin' 15 points. That's all you can at today was 33 points, but even on normal days, like you can see here, right, this ATR is actually pretty significant, very tradable. So let's be just super mindful, like this. We've got a couple of these kind of earnings setups that I think are going to be good. Now, beyond that, though, we have a couple of these like post consolidation from news setups, right? So like this stock popped up on earnings too, and you can see that you got a flag building out here. I think, you could maybe trigger around 30, 50 to kind of start the next leg. Now, the 9 EMA may need some time to catch up, and so that's where you have to be a little bit comfortable with, just taking the quick scalp if it goes. Coupang, right? Big reversal on this thing. You had earnings out just a little bit ago, so you got that out of the way, and it looks like a breakout is setting up on this bad boy. It's pretty liquid, does 5 to 20 million shares the last few days. Had a rest day. Today was a little bit of a rest day. So now you've got like some good you got a good consolidation that you may be able to kind of come and pile in if it breaks this 23. TSM, if we need a short tomorrow, I think this one against the 50-day moving average could be something. It's also a bottoming pattern, but I'm talking for the momentarily, like it's popped 40 darn points, like, or 35 points. Like, I think probably this is due for one of those like burnt kind of candles. Dash has got a nice flag pattern. This is right. You had an earnings pop and a reversal. Now you got a flag developing on this one. I've got pretty good range on it. I think we can play that. Amazon looks like a nice bear flag here too. If we need the short, you're nuzzling right against the 200-day moving average. This was an earnings debacle, right? And then you got to kind of this grindy bounce right into the 200-day moving average. It's a good location here. We could do it against maybe 170 if we need it. Kava, inside day. So you had the big trend day, and then you had an inside day. Guys, that's a very powerful setup. When you have a trend day and then you get a very narrow range day after that, I mean, that's the tour du jour right there. Now let's talk about some shorts here. So look, Intel, if it breaks under this 19, I think it gets dusted off for another round of selling. There's just not anything good that's been happening out of this company. It's still a $90 billion company too, so you got some nastiness here. Look at this Etsy. You got flat bottom breakdown and right a little bit of a bear flag here that you can take. So you got a big swoosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days of consolidation, starting to break under there. Not the biggest rangy stock anymore. It's only a $1.59 ATR, but I think we could still play. I think we could still play. This Zoom is, you got, risk to the 9 EMA, so not a big rangy stock, but I think it's got a good enough look where you could probably nail it for a couple points here or there. SG, this was an earnings popper too, sweet greens. It had a little bit of a rest day, this kind of tail. It would have been nice if this tail wasn't here and it just kind of hang there, so it looks a little bit weird, but I would consider this an inside day also. Boeing, very similar to Zoom here. You got the bear flag. Dude, if this thing breaks 163, I mean, we're coming in hot on this thing. I mean, screw these guys, right? So let's come in hot and show these guys what a little American justice looks like. TTD, after that big earnings push, you got a rest day today. I would consider this an inside day too, minus like this, like 2 pennies here that it popped up. Right, inside day, this thing is ready to rock. Maybe tomorrow if we need a long, it could use ideally one more inside day, but you never get these things when you want them. Etsy, right, similar. I was mixing this up with Zoom. They have the same exact chart, same exact price right now. Got a bear flag over there too. Look at this thing, mRNA. Guys, these are clean bear flags here, right? Clean bear flags here. Dude, this is a breakdown. We break under 81 on this. Like that's a nasty McGee right there, man. That's a, you got nowhere to go except to maybe $60 on this thing. A bleed off. Good ATR on this. Look at this thing. 10% ATR. Think about that. How many stocks do you get with a 10% ATR? Like that's hot, right? We want to be in this game. You had great range on this thing. It's going to be a $6-7 probably tomorrow if it breaks. DJT, look, the Trumpster's going on back to Twitter. The Trumpster's reeling right now, guys. Thoughts and prayers to this guy, right? He did not expect. He did not expect to be winning and then be just out of nowhere losing. You're starting to see the meltdown on him. Dude, he's hopping on Twitter now. He's gonna be with Elon. He probably, he's be talking all sorts of fun and games. And so this thing is probably a bleeder too. As she starts climbing in the polls, watch it. Watch this thing just bleed off. At some point, he'll panic and probably just start selling whenever he can, try to recoup some money, right? And so that thing looks like it's done. You got a bear flag on this bad boy. A riot also, right? So you got swoosh down, bear flag. Riot Mar looked the exact same. And then I think still UPSD, one more down day on this. Get me closer into somewhere in the zone. And I think we're going to be able to flip this thing to the long side. You had this weird wick the other day. It was kind of a big blowout. So I think you need to kind of work that off. And then it's going to be in a good spot here. And then you can see Mara today also did a dilution, I believe. So, you're playing 250 million senior notes offering. It's not that bad, right? It's a $5 billion company compared to what these guys probably need to do. Right? Look, 250 million is not as bad as it could be, but this thing, the chart is broken, the trend is broken. If this thing breaks under 14, 14, 19, like it's done, right? So let's watch this thing. Any spike up on this thing, if Bitcoin does not reclaim and hold over 60,000 and you get a little spike up on this thing, I think we try to roll this thing red. I've always loved trading crypto miners, but it looks like their day is just done. This thing has had so many opportunities to break out, it just can't do it. At some point we just call uncle and short this thing back down to $5. Guys, let me know if you have any questions. Also, remember, we got a virtual event this weekend coming in. I got some awesome speakers and stuff. We'll be doing that on Saturday, so you can have some time to yourselves and actually get some work done on the weekends. Normally, I'm doing live class, right, on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. And so this will be a jam-packed Saturday morning and into the afternoon. We're going to be flying high, baby. I love you guys. Peace.